Number 5. Inhumanoids. In the mid-80s, Sunbow Productions made a series of television shows to coincide with the toys that they were marketing. Toys such as Transformers, G.I. Joe, and even Gem. The Inhumanoids tells the story of the scientist hero group EarthCorps, as they battle a trio of subterranean monsters called the Inhumanoids, with the aid of elemental beings, the Mutors. The Inhumanoids consist of the plant leviathan known as Tendril, the undead behemoth called Decompose, and their menacing leader, Metlar. In regards to EarthCorps, they're just a bunch of humans, mainly geologists, with some chick and her evil brother who wants to use the Inhumanoids to take over the world. Ah, you thought I was going to do the nostalgia critic thing, huh? I am no thief here. Assisting the humans were the Mutors, a race of elemental beings that have battled the Inhumanoids throughout the centuries. These are the Granites, the Redwoods, and Magnacore. Now, Magnacore is interesting because to me I always thought that he was an Inhumanoid turned good since there's only one of him. Or two. Or is there one? Never mind. The point is that this show was amazing for its time. It showed bodily dismemberment, the most gruesome looking zombies I've ever seen on any animated show, and these toys were unbelievable. I mean it. These toys were massive for their time. You put one of these guys next to a G.I. Joe or Transformer, and they easily tower of them like Godzilla over people. These figures were not only big, but gross and inventive. The Tendril monster would of course be flexible and bendable, and Decompose's ribcage could open up to place any unlucky toy inside. I used to put G.I. Joes in there. Sure, big toys today are commonplace, but back in the day, these really stood out on the toy shelves. Dark, twisted, and definitely gross. The Inhumanoids definitely deserve a comeback, most befitting a monster. Number 4. Ring Raiders. Planes are definitely not on every kid's Christmas list or birthday list. At least not until the new Pixar movie comes out anyways. But for the rare few of those who do appreciate them, this is for you. Like most kids in the 80s, I grew up with Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars. Then one day, while at a KB toy store with my dad, I saw something in the Matchbox aisle. There were these tiny little planes, about the size of a small Hot Wheel car, attached to a stick, which was then attached to a ring. They were called Ring Raiders. What an amazing idea. Toys that you don't even have to hold. Just wear them. I don't quite remember the story all that well, but from what I gathered from my memory, there are two opposing teams, the Righteous Ring Raiders and the Vile Skull Squadron. There's almost something to do with time travel, but it's not that important. What is important is how frickin' radical they were. Huh? What's that? The Jetfires aren't awesome enough for you? Then how about a small arm gauntlet with a control stick that makes Jetfire sound effects like machine guns, rocket launchers? Now we're talking serious badassery. What made these toys so great weren't the commercials or the TV show, though they helped a little bit. It was the fact that you could hold 5 jets on each hand and still have enough room to wear the wrist gauntlet. What do? Play with your toys one at a time? Amateur. These toys would be a great way to bring back kids' fascination with toy jets. That is before Pixar's Planes comes out and hogs the market like Cars did to Hot Wheels. Number 3. Micro Machines / Z-Bots. Okay, how many people remember Micro Machines? Quite a few of you. Oh, I'm surprised. But do any of you remember Z-Bots? Ah, see, no, it's not so much. Yeah, see. Both were created by Galoob, that's now owned by Hasbro, and both knew how to make those long trips to the dentist's office or at the dentist's office and those mundane car trips so much more exciting. Sort of like Pokemon, each Z-Bot had a characteristic about them, be it military or combining or even sports. Now, a lot of you naysayers might say, actually, Nobalicious, Micro Machines were totally better than Z-Bots, you artard. And to those of you who think that, I couldn't agree with you more. However, due to my parents being quite idiotic about giving their toddler tiny-sized toys that they could and would easily swallow and not teaching their kids about the hazards of said toys, we must all suffer to never again see Micro Machines. Boo-hoo. These little guys deserve a second chance. If not for us nostalgic adults, then for our kids who are growing up with this still.
As long as we have our imagination.
Number 2. Monsters in My Pocket. When you hear the words pocket monsters, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? If you said Pokemon, then you'd be right by today's standards. However, if you grew up in the late 80s and early 90s, this is what you would have envisioned. Before Pikachu, there were the real monsters that could fit in your pocket. Now, are they cute and cuddly like this here, Squirtle? Fuck no. You got decaying skeletons, horrific hags, and sins against nature. Seriously. Fuck. Monsters in My Pocket were developed by Morrison Entertainment Group back in the early 90s. The focus was primarily on monsters and legendary creatures from religion, mythology, literary fantasy, science fiction, cryptids, and other anomalous phenomena. And these things were a hit! Monsters in My Pocket produced trading cards, comic books, toys, a board game, a video game crafted by the arcade gods known as Konami, and an animated special, along with music, clothing, kites, stickers, and various other items that comes with these types of things. As the series progressed, they got more creepy and disturbing. So much so that they eventually had to tone it down so that younger kids would not be frightened. However, in doing so, their popularity started to diminish, and just like all toy fads, they faded away into obscurity. However, back in the early 2000s, the line was revived in the UK, titled Monsters in My Pocket: The Quest, with deluxe figures of the principal monster characters from the first series, like, Dracula, the Frankenstein monster, etc., etc. Now resembling even more like their namesakes and looking quite nice, if I do say so myself. But the time for a revamp was just too late, and once again, Monsters in My Pockets got the shaft. It's about time Pokemon bit the dust, and a true portable monster takes its place. Besides, which looks better? This? Or this? And number 1. Mighty Max. Remember those long car rides you used to take as a kid? Remember being told you could only take one toy if you were going out to the store? How bored did you get playing with your just lone G.I. Joe or just Optimus Prime, with the back seat as your battlefield? Now, what if I could tell you that you could have had a portable battlefield complete with hero and villain, and completely portable? Sound impossible, you say? Well, behold! One of the greatest portable toys in history.
I'm Polly Pocket. Want to see what's new?
Wait. Hold it. Damn it, give me a sec. And there. This was the coolest portable toy ever. You had your identifiable hero, a different creepy villain or monster with each layer, and it could fold up and fit into your pocket or backpack without taking up too much space. Mighty Max was a series of toys that were manufactured by a company called Bluebird Toys, PLC, back in the UK of '92. The toys were similar to the earlier Polly Pocket toy line. However, these toys were marketed primarily towards younger boys. The original toy line consisted mainly of Doom Zones and Horror Heads. Doom Zones were small play sets with a horror theme and featured miniature figurines of menacing creatures and the hero Max, a young boy with blonde hair, jeans, a white t-shirt with a red M on it, and a baseball cap which also sported an M on it. The Horror Heads were smaller size playsets, also shaped like the heads of creatures, and contained miniature figures. This toy line was later adapted into a TV series and a video game for both the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. Yeah, they both sucked. As the toy line progressed, so did the size of the playsets. One playset might be the size of your watch, the next it's a Dragon Skull Island, then a giant lava beast golem, and even a huge frickin' volcano. These guys entertained me for hours on end as a kid. I would gladly play with one of these than my Super Nintendo. I know, that's blasphemy, but that was just how awesome these toys were. Are. They require you to use your imagination to make up the story. I mean, most toys back in the day did that, but what set these apart from all the others was the elaborate detail. Anyways, no matter how long I talk about them, I cannot do them justice. You just have to find one for yourself and see what I mean. To find one mint in box is pretty rare nowadays, but if you peruse around a few yard sales and flea markets, I'm pretty certain you'll find at least one. With kids today and all the technology they have, it would do them some good to just put down their 3DS and tablets and, for once, let their imagination give them some real entertainment. Well, that's it for my top 10 list. Please feel free to comment below and subscribe if you liked it. If you have any ideas for a top 10 that hasn't been done yet, drop us a line and we'll see what we can do. So from TRIDORKS, I'm wishing you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Feliz Navidad, Happy Chanukah. You know what I mean. I'm Nobalicious. I'm saying peace. I'm out.